Final project for interpreting. The first question asks about the DCS framework and the word environment. And what does environment mean? Environment, when you first look at it, can be you're in a room. Is there windows? Is there a lot of people? Is there big hallways, small hallways, big space, little space, all these physical surroundings. But I think that environment also has to do with the people. What are the people like? Are they kind of rude? Are they super professional? Are they a little bit more laid back? What's the lingo that they use? Is it a lot of slang? Is it, again, very professional, like a hospital uses a lot of medical terms? Or is it more of like a conference with a team of people who are very close to each other and might, use a little bit more slang with each other? I think all of that has to do with environment. I don't think it's just one thing. I think that you have to take in a fact of all of the different things that make the environment. The second question talks about why is analysis and understanding the environment important skill for an interpreter. I definitely think it's important to analyze and understand the environment as an interpreter because they have to be adaptable. If you don't understand the environment, how people talk, or the lingo that they use, or what your day-to-day schedule is going to look like, how are you going to be successful? Additionally, I think it's helpful to understand the lingo that they use specifically to help with the deaf client to hearing client communication. You want to make sure that the communication is perfectly clear between those two people, and you don't want to mess up on your part. So it's important for an interpreter to understand the conversations that might be talked or said back and forth. Lastly, I think it's important because as an interpreter, you might not want to be in that place. If you don't like the environment, then you probably shouldn't work there. There's some people who are like, hey, I don't want to interpret for a church because that's just not my thing. And it's important to understand and analyze your environment so that you can know that, hey, that's not for me, or yes, I would love to do that. So it's not just about the people that you're interpreting for, but it's about the people that you're interpreting with. The next question talks about what assignments in the class did I like that I think helped me prepare myself as an interpreter for the future. There was 3 that really stuck out to me, but I did really like the entirety of the class, and I think that each assignment can definitely help pursue my future successfully. The first being control and demand schema. I thought it really helped explain the high demand, low control thing and how it's very kind of stressful job, which I thought it would be, and it is. But now that I know that, I can mentally prepare, make up some plans so that I can be less stressed in that work environment. The second thing would be the DCS observations. I had a general idea of how it would be to go into an environment and look at it and be like, that's how I'm going to fit in the environment. But actually doing it and seeing like the online perspective, which is what I want to do when I work online as an interpreter, seeing, oh, hey, when people cut each other off online, like you have to sign that way. You have to be like, oh, they cut them off and like sign over here, as the next person. And I think it's very important to know that specific aspect of this is what you're going to do. You're going to go in, you're going to analyze what people do, and then, hey, you're going to interpret. So it was just really nice to get a head start or better understanding of that. And then lastly, the interview with a professional. Besides the fact that I will be getting interviewed by people, I know that I can go up to someone and ask them in a non-official interview kind of a way, hey, what do you do here? What's your day-to-day life like? Do you work long hours? Do you work a lot of nights? What would I be doing because you're doing this? And I thought it was really important to know how people act and what they do in their environment. And after interviewing somebody else, I know the questions that I can ask and how to better make a good plan of action. Additionally, with the plan of action, I can see, hey, is this job for me? And then if I realize, actually, after watching these people and listening to what these people have said, maybe that's not for me. Or I'm like, yes, that's definitely for me, and I can go ahead and pursue with that. The last question asks, has my view of interpreting changed? My beginning view of interpreting wasn't really an official viewpoint. I didn't say, hey, this is what interpreting is like. I did have a general idea. I was like, hey, it's probably going to be hard, and there's like a lot of factors that go into it, but I didn't really have like a focused idea because I've been so focused on just learning the language in general. So figuring out like that it is a little stressful and that you have to make up for things like that, and that there's like the high demand and the low control of the job. I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't want to do ASL. I'm very passionate about it and I love the language. But now that I know more things about it, I can better manage my time and better manage my stress so that I can be successful in the interpreting world. Thank you so much for this amazing class, and I hope you have a great rest of the term.